the stage and take us through the wonderful journey of Simple One and the journey so far. Thank you. Applause, guys. Come on, I know heavy lunch. Yeah, thank you, Srinath, for those kind words. I hope everyone's a bit excited. I understand the heat is too much, but thank you, everyone who have assembled here. Very good afternoon to one and all. So let's begin. I think the industry has been waiting for Simple One since long time. I think that has been our focus since day one to launch a super EV, as you can see here. So what do we want to convey? What do we really mean by a super EV? What is journey about? What's the company doing all this while? I think we will run you through the entire presentation. So please bear with me. It might be a bit long. So before we take in the next slide, I would like to say hello to our live audience. Thank you for joining in and tuning in. So so we began our journey in 2018, right? As you see in the presentation, the first vehicle with Mr. Sheetal Shetty is one of our founding members. We began as 9-member team in a 100 square feet office, which barely was enough for any kind of startup to start. But again, we had a journey. We had a vision. We had a goal to achieve something. So we started with that, and we went on building it. And as Mr. Raghunath and Mr. Manish mentioned, they were our early backers, and we started looking at scaling this much faster, and we ended up being a 400-member team. We went from 100 square feet to a 2.9 lakh square feet infrastructure. So that is divided in office, a lab, and a factory. So most of the consumers and medias and public eyes, they are aware of what exactly we have done in last 3 years, but they're not really aware of the infrastructure that has gone behind. So as I mentioned, we went from 9 to 400 plus member team, which is including our factory current manufacturing capacity as well. We went from 100 square feet to a 2.9 lakh square feet. We invested about 15 lakh manpower, 15 lakh man hours into this. Then we went about creating India's, or I would say industry's largest IP portfolio, which amounts to 212, which is still counting by the day. We have filed many more than this. So this brings in a very important point that what we believe as a vision is to create as many as IPs as possible, so that we can elaborate our vision and our expansion towards building a much better EVs and foundation for industry itself. And apart from that, we had an opportunity to interact with a lot of unique suppliers. So we created around 94 unique supplier base with 100 plus on the regular base of it. Apart from that, I think we have generated indirect employment about 8,000 plus, and that's still counting. So bringing to the main slide, right? So our DNA, I'll take a bit on this. So we have always spoken about be the change. So when we speak of be the change, what do we really mean by it is we don't want to go out there and ask people to adjust to a certain product that we are building. We always feel, or our engineers, our designers, and myself, we feel that we need to build something that we would buy. So that starts with that. So we want to change the certain ways. For example, we have never been happy about how the auto industry in India has been growing last 35 years. We have not really focused on getting an R&D structure in India. And that really bothered us in back 2018. And that kind of changed the way we look at a certain, certain way of how we want to go about. While we had an option of going out there, assembling things and selling a base model, which does about a bare minimum of 80 or 70 kilometers or 0 to 14, hardly 8 seconds or something like that. So that was not really what we wanted to do, and we wanted to change certain things, and it started within us. That's the reason we speak of be the change. We introduce one more pattern into our DNA, or one more strand into our DNA, called the beyond the dot. So what do we say beyond the dot? So if you look at the entire industry, they have always tried to make a minimal, side of things. They're not really focused on pushing the envelope to a level where you can bring on a certain kind of technology, a certain kind of strength to our automobile industry that can build the foundation for companies which can rule the global market. It is vice versa right now. We appreciate imports, we appreciate the build quality that European standards or any other standards like Japanese, USA, etc. But we ourselves don't have really, we have not really pushed our envelope in the last 35 years. So we really want to push that, and that's the motto behind Beyond the Dot. We will always start something that is after the dot. We will never have simple energy placed in a place where we cannot innovate, we cannot do anything else, or we don't want to look into a Me Too product, right? So that's not really what our aim is. We always want to push the envelope. We will always build scooters which are not seen out or which are not heard of, be it the performance, the quality, the experience, etc. So this is how the Beyond the Dot came into picture, and this was coined, I would say from the beginning, but we never were aware of it. We were never really aware of putting it in the marketing channels because we believed that we will first make it and then start using this tagline called Beyond the Dot. And these two taglines will always be the foundation and the belief that Simple Energies employs now and next 50 years will have. And that's about it. Our vision. So we want to innovate, we want to collaborate, and we want to have a social impact. So what do we mean by innovation? Innovation, right? So we have focused on a larger picture of developing certain things in house. So there are innovations where you can reinvent a certain part, or you can optimize a certain part or improve efficiency of certain aspects. Be it anything, we want to be at the helm of it. We want to have the innovation in house. There's no two ways about it, and we want to collaborate. So we have collaborated with multiple institutional agencies, colleges, etc. across India, and of course foreign countries as well, where we could bring technologies and collaborate on certain aspects. We're still in the works with that. We want to develop a better management system. We want to develop a better technology on the motor side. We want to develop a certain aspect to EV or any other form of energy which can add to the innovation tank of India. And that is where our collaboration effort will be. Social impact, or something that we have been focused on since last 5 years almost. That whatever we do, we want to touch lives that people will never meet. So that is something that our focus will be eventually, and the experience part of it, right? So anyone who wants to build a scooter or build a EV or build a car or build a bike, they need to have a certain aspect of experience that a consumer should have. So that bare minimum or that impact that we want to have is much larger than that. So everyone talks about reducing the CO2, everyone talks about reducing pollution, but no one is talking about the impact you will create socially when everyone starts using a great EV. It's not always about saving planet Earth, or it's not always about saving some pollution, but it is also about putting up a word for a user experience. So that's what we mean by social impact. So one of my favorite slides, or I've been using this since last 4 years. It's primarily being a minimal viable product. So a lot of people speak about the scooters which are right now on sale, but what we want to talk about is not really a minimal viable product. So what do we really mean by minimal viable product? What we mean by that is a scooter which is doing about 80 kilometers of range, which does roughly about 80 top speed, which doesn't go beyond a certain speed at a certain seconds. So this is something that we think of as a minimal viable product, which doesn't really need the envelope to be pushed, which doesn't really care about thinking about a consumer experience eventually. So what we want to sell is an experience and not a product. So that's the reason we changed that P into X. So our products will always be about experience and not about a product. So minimal viable experience is our goal, and it always will be. Because end of the day, even if you want to build a minimal viable product, you would not need Simple Energy or any other big tech company out there to have any kind of innovation going out there, because you already have multiple options in the last 13 years. So what's the point building a product which does the bare minimum? So we wanted to cater the experience part much better, and give consumers a touch of what a super EV would feel like. So the first step of how do we build a minimal viable experience was building a superior EV. That's how the super EV tagline comes in. What do we mean by a superior EV? A EV which has a long range, or the longest range, a EV which has the most smartest features possible, a scooter which is not only sprinting against the competition but also beats it up by a larger margin and becomes the fastest in India or in the world, and then building a dual battery pack. Okay, so this is one of the USPs of a superior EV, where you have a fixed and a portable battery, right? So what does a portable battery do to you? It will give you a better user experience eventually and make you someone who is much happy to use a scooter in terms of experience point of view, where I can remove a portable battery and go up, charge it up, and not wait for something. Or say you would be stranded at a place and you want to you want to charge up a scooter, but you don't find a petrol station and you cannot remove a fixed battery, but you can remove a portable battery which is very light, and you can just go and find a 15 amp charger in a dhaba or a hotel or a restaurant, and still be happy about it and charging, and you'll have a juice up around 60 kilometers. You can reach home and be happy about it. So that's something that we have a unique proposition, because if you look at the dimensions, the size, the scooter proposition, you'll find the dual battery packaging is the most difficult one that we have found in India right now. So we have a couple of innovations done on that. We will brief on that later on in our innovation library. Then a stunningly stacking scooter. So a lot of people who have been using automobiles in India since the last 30 years, I always complained about how bad they look, or how non-friendly, or not non-friendly, non-appealing. There's no quotient to it, or there's no appeal for it to come into our garages and make us happy about it. We are rather using it for more experience point of view, or usability per se, but not for something that is something that will define certain aspects in user experience, in terms of looks, etc. We depend on European markets, to come down here, design our scooters. We have UK studios, we have Japanese studios, we have Chinese studios now, which have been very prominent in the last 10 years. So we decided to build a design studio in-house. So we have around 35 designers working around the clock on building a scooter which not only outperforms the foreigners, but also looks apart from today's day and scooters. So that's what we mean. That's what we mean by a stunningly striking scooter. Then the heart, or the energy of the scooter, the battery pack, the portable and the fixed. So this dual battery pack combination has a 50.5 volt nominal voltage. It is IP67 rated, and an interesting fact is that we comply, or we certify with the AIS 156 phase 2, and that is a very important milestone for a company like us, because we invested around 8 months into going back to the drawing board and getting the most safest battery pack out there. It comes in with a 7-layer protection system. It has its own battery management system. It has its own algos developed to manage SOS and SOC as well. So this battery packs that you see are not only efficient enough, but also manage your safety parameters much better. So they have a certain aspect which can give you a certain kind of experience, no matter what temperatures are, what terrains are, etc. And they will guarantee you a range that is not seen in the industry till date. And our battery packs are built in 7-stack system. So we not only have control over the PCBs, the BMSs, how the cell thermal behavior is, or how the entire stack is built, but also on how it will perform after 5 years down the line, or after you consume around 1 lakh or 2 lakh kilometers. So we have tested them thoroughly over 3,000 hours of testing across the battery temperatures, variations, monitoring them end to end on safety parameters as well. And of course, it comes with a 5 kilowatt battery pack. So we previously announced that a 4.8 kilowatt battery pack will be here. So we had to slightly increase the battery pack, though your usable capacity will still be lower. But this is the battery capacity that you'll get with a scooter. So we had to go a bit above, because we had to manage the thermal heat better due to the new regulatory points, and also because we wanted to improve our efficiency parameters in terms of how we package the scooter, the battery pack itself. So I think that brings into the next slide, where we discuss about the motor. So there's an interesting story to this. We went about developing a certain kind of scooter that's called Mark 1, which first prototype, which a lot of people don't know about, we could not really break through the motor technology that is available in India. So we'll have a 5 kilowatt, or 8 kilowatt, or a 10 kilowatt battery pack, but we could not find something that fits into our box, which could leap us forward in terms of the range, in terms of efficiency, in terms of performance. So we decided to build our own motors. We started with a two-member team. One of my founding members, Mr. Sheetal Shetty, he took up the challenge of developing a motor, which is not only India's most powerful motor, but also has the maximum torque into it, and at a size which is so compact that you can, go around taking it and fitting it in any scooter that you want. But unfortunately, that is patent for the competitions out there. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, so getting to peak power, so we come up with a 8.5 kilowatt hour peak power. We have a torque of 72 on the motor, and that is of course transmitted into a transmission ratio. Then we have our in-house MCU, which is wired into the powertrain as well. So we not only developed our own motor technology, but we also developed a manufacturing unit for it, which is right now in production. Uh, and that itself has one more unique feature, which is the in-house magnetization part of it. So we became India's first company to have in-house magnetization, to develop India's first motor technology, and to also have it manufactured at a scale where it has zero rejection on the line. So we have done all the first on the motor technology, and we control entire powertrain side of it, and also it is inbuilt smart. Then coming to the stack, so we have gone about developing our own hardware, where the hardware consists of a motor, as I spoke about in earlier, a battery pack, an HMI, a VCM, a charger, and MCU. So battery pack also consists of a BMS. So this is the hardware stack that we have developed in-house, and we went about developing every single aspect. So we are 95% localized, except for the cells, of course. So that brings into the next brain. That's a firmware. So to calibrate them, or to make sure that this stack runs, the hardware stack runs, perfectly fine. So we developed our own firmware on it, which sits on the top of it, which is called the motor controller unit, the BMS, the charger, charger protection units on VCM. VCM is a body control module which controls the entire scooter, and all this together forms the super EV that we're speaking about. And then on that, we speak of system intelligence, where we developed our own algos, which not only monitor the regenerative braking, range optimization, protection, safety, algorithms, and optimum performance at any given point of time. So I'm sure a lot of media which is sitting here has experienced the sonic mode when we gave the test rides last year. So I think the magic comes from here, where we not only develop the hardware, the firmware, we also code them. We code them hard so that it performs at optimal at any given point of time, and that's what we call a complete in-house development, and a stack that we call it the most powerful one. And this has the maximum patents in our system right now. And of course, these three are controlled by an operating system to give you the information on screen, which is a 7-inch display, which speaks about the range, which speaks about speedo, which speaks about Bluetooth, and every other smart feature that you can monitor from your scooter. And the cloud connectivity. So we have telematics, ride status, OT updates, all the features enabled, and we have built our own cloud stack, which monitors the scooter 24/7. You can download your statistics every month, and you can monitor the entire performance parameters all throughout the scooter's journey. So I think this entire thing, we call it as um, a super stack, which brings to the point where this will be loaded on all our first delivery models, and we will be delivering from day one, right? So this comes with our in-house patented algos as well, where you have a unique side of it on an app, which will be available every week or quarterly or monthly, which no other competition out there or no other scooter out there has been able to give you. So you'll not be able to not only be able to track the data, but you can also go forward in the next OT updates. You can tune and start identifying your riding patterns and put into a system where you can decide how you want to use the torque, how you want to have the throttle calibrations at a certain speed, and also the mode changes they want to customize them. So this is what we call the super stack. Then a super smart scooter, of course, you will have all the ride histories inbuilt in the app where you can track things. You can record your history, go back to your old trips. You can save them, bookmark them, etc. And it will also have your monthly and overall ride strategies as I mentioned in the previous slide. And also it comes with a Bluetooth 4.2, OT updates, navigation, document storage, mobile app, battery, range, and performance monitoring, call music, and something we call a simple tag. So what we mean by a simple tag is you can tag it up and it will not move even beyond a certain parameter that you're fenced about. So this will help you track the scooter wherever it is, in a parking lot, at a house, anywhere. So you just have to open your app. You can find my simple one or go to a simple tag option, and you can find the scooter whenever you want or wherever it is. And you can also lock it remotely. So we have a home charging option right now. So it comes 0 to 80 in 5 hours, 54 minutes, and a fast charging option of 0 to 80% in 1.5 it charges 1.5 kilometers in per minute, right? So if you look at the figures, the fixed battery, it is 3 hours 47 minutes. Just to highlight, this is the fastest charging time in a fixed battery of that size in industry today. So you don't really have to worry about the charging times at home. It does much faster than at a larger battery pack of 5 kilowatt than any other average scooter out there. So and also the 750 watt is a charger that you'll get at home charging, and we have enabled a loop fast charging, which is not available as of yet. It'll be rolled out from August. So the first batch will be coming with a 750 watt, and a public network will start opening from August across India. We want to go phase by phase on our charging network from day one, right? And we want to be very clear about what exactly the charging time is to be at home. So this I believe will give you a relaxed mind for at least a week once you find out the range first. So just a piece where we say built to last the next generation. So we want to take 2 minutes of yours to show you what we have done on the testing side of it. So that's an interesting facts that we placed there. So as committed, we have always focused on quality, testing it through, and then delivering to the consumers. So this also brings to a point that that we chose voluntarily to comply with the new norms and then deliver the first scooter, because we believe every consumer is dear to us, and even the first consumer should deserve all the safety standards that the government asks the company to comply with. Moving forward, the scooter, right? So it's what we have done in house. So we are highlighting those points. So it's a battery, the motor, the swing arm. It's one of a kind. Of course, we have 1990 section tires. We have a tubular steel chassis. We have our amazing brake systems. Just to highlight, it stops from 60 to 0 in 27 meters. That's the best in the industry till date. So we have our in-house LED lights. We've designed amazing mirrors. They are very flexible mirrors, which you'll find out in the innovation library. So one of a kind integration that we have done. And of course, we can now look at delivering the scooters immediately, because we have completed our innovation on that side, and thoroughly tested as well. So moving forward, on the range side, so this is 212 kilometers certified range with 6% SOC left. So if we consume the 100%, we achieve a 225 kilometers of impressive range, and that is India's longest range scooter, which is not only claimed but also certified. So kudos to our team, the 4.5 years to this, and we officially announced the range today as 212, and the cause of a slight from what we initially unveiled is the weight that is gone up. So now we weigh 134 kgs versus we used to in the previous versions. Of course, we had to add in a lot of other parameters into the battery for the safety norms, for us to match the safety norms. So that has caused a bit of weight reduction on that side. Moving forward, I think the next big thing, or the biggest thing in the industry right now for Simple Energy, or the Super EV, called Simple One, is, I will let everyone guess. Yep. So even after increasing the weight a bit, we still stand at 2.77, and that has been the test of time for us. But we still had to go back, make sure that we stand the same on 0 to 40, making it India's and the world's fastest scooter in the segment. So that's the official figure there. I think we have spoken enough about specifications, battery pack, the range, the speed, the performance, the safety parameters of the scooter which the Super EV comes with, which is unparalleled to any other competition or any other scooter out there. So it's time for us to look at what we have done. I would like to now call upon the scooters for everyone to have a look at. First, we go with the brazen black. Scooter looks really futuristic. Then I call upon the Namma Red. Then I call upon the azure blue. These are all production models, by the way. They got rolled out 2 weeks back, showcasing the production models for you to have a look at. And I call for Grace White. So I think we have unveiled these colors a long time ago. So presenting all 4 colors in production. Now there's one more thing that we wanted to look into. That's bring in a much more excitement into the zone, where we can invite one more color. That's called the Brazen X. So I think we were not done yet. So we thought let's add a bit more into the color schemes. So we are also getting one more color option that's called Light X. So that's one of my favorite colors. Come on guys, give me a, come on! I think the party is on. 6 colors for you, with 4 being the regular ones, 2 being a special colors option for consumers to opt from. Adding that extra into your life. Okay. Can you off the lights, please? Backdrops. You want the photo off? Sure. You want me to? So I would like to call upon my co-founders and founding members on stage who stood by me from day one. So big round of applause to them. Come on, guys. Kiran, Pankaj, Petal. Get the music on, please. Come on, guys. I would also like to extend the congratulations to my team members that are 400 plus. Of course, will not call you on stage, but thank you for your support. Without you all, this was impossible. So this team has been working hard since the last 4 years to achieve the production, and now we have it in front of you. Moving forward.
One picture.
Oh, yeah. Photo op, sorry. Amazing. So moving forward, we would like to also showcase
really
what our
especially the black
customers had to say when they test drive the scooter last year.
From a Batman movie or some sort. Looks damn stealthy.
Taken the test ride of this. The Sonic mode is ultimate, which I've just taken the test ride. Price wise, it's very, very competitive. And I think as we are living in UP, where roads are not that good in comparison to other, maybe towns or cities. So I think it's going to work very, very fine.
Being a tall rider, 6 feet 2 inches, my first thing which I used to check on a bike is, will the handle hit my knees? Which I did find in this bike. The stability and the road cornering and everything, the pickup is fantastic and absolutely mind-blowing.
బైక్ మాత్రం దింపి మొత్తం ఇచ్చి వాడేసండి సాలిక్ మోడ్ అయితే మాత్రం ఆ బైక్ ఒక్కసారి రొప్పితే దిగరు సాలిక్ మోడ్లోకి వెళ్ళి దిగరు అసలు.
और ऐसे ट्रैफिक में हो या ऐसे लोकली हमें ऐसा कुछ चाहिए जो हमें सिंपल एनर्जी से मिल जाता है. सिंपल
Actually, daily I am traveling office to house to office. My 16 kilometers are there. 16 to 16, 32 kilometers I have to travel. My planning is to keep the charging weekly once only.
And what media had to say when they had the first impression of Simple One last year.
This is not just the newest electric scooter in the country. As scooters go in the country, that might actually be the one.
There are some interesting details which sets it apart, and I love those, especially these alloy wheels, the winglets on either side, as well as the LED Panigale for inspired taillight.
But another thing that comes across as quite impressive in most areas is the chassis. This steel tubular chassis is also an in-house design by Simple, and the company has done a good job with the brakes and suspension setup.
But what I do like is the design, is the edges, is the flow that goes around. This is a scooter which has a freaking winglets right over here. So my goodness, there is a lot of things going around in terms of design.
Really cool element is this swing arm, which is a die-cast swing arm and attaches to the rest of the tubular frame.
Speed पकड़ने में, overtake करने में, या pickup की कमी आपको कभी नहीं खलेगी.
The scooter packs promising performance. It feels nice to ride, especially in the Sonic mode. Components such as the brakes, they work well. This suspension, it's on the sporty side.
And the best part is the scooter with the modes and everything. Man,
in Sonic mode, this thing just flies up the line.
This is a very nice scooter because it outperforms most other scooters in terms of sheer riding thrills. It outperforms most electric scooters in terms of the amount of range that you have.
Foundations, the motor, the ease of rideability, the seamless riding experience is what makes it so great.
Overall, good performance, good handling, and promises a lot of range. So all good.
बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो इस स्कूटर में बहुत ही अमेजिंग है, जैसे कि इसकी स्पीड और इसकी राइड क्वालिटी।
कि ये स्कूटर गजब है, फीचर्स गजब है और चलता तो ये गजब ही है और सबसे ज्यादा गजब तो भैया इसका पिकअप है जो विदाउट एनी झटके ये चलता रहता है।
The braking, the suspension, the seat comfort, the storage under the seat, and all these boxes, I think Simple One checks out.
This will be one of the strongest contenders in the two-wheel space when it comes to electric vehicles, and I see the Simple One being a very, very popular electric scooter.
The ride quality works, the handling works, the brakes are nice, the throttle calibration works. It's almost like it's too good to be true, right?
So this was last year, the first impression on the previous scooter, which was unveiled to them. I hope we have taken a lot of feedback from the consumers, from the media fraternity to improve on our production models. I hope the time will tell how strong we stand, and I'm very confident that Simple will pass all the check boxes that the consumers and the media would have. Moving forward. So that concludes the presentation on the scooter features. Now we move forward to the manufacturing side. I would like to call upon Mr. Shesh Mishra, my dear co-founder, to take everyone through the manufacturing. Come on, guys, give him a round of applause. Big round of applause. Someone can help us.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Suhas. Thank you so much. So, we at Simple Energy envision to be a company which would not just produce the Simple One, but keep on producing products that would meet the demands of the people, and not just scooters, but other form factors of two-wheelers as well. And that is what we took into consideration while designing our manufacturing facility, which we call Simple Vision 1.0. Yes, so this is the state-of-art manufacturing facility that we've built, which we call Simple Vision 1.0. This is where the super EVs of tomorrow will get manufactured today. So when we talk about the production, so the first thing that comes to our mind is digitalization and bringing in new and innovative ways of producing electric vehicles which are safe, comfortable, and making sure that meets the demand of the consumer. So we are the first OEM to have, yes, to have all the three major components being assembled in-house. Just to put it up together, first is the general assembly. This is where the Simple simple one takes its physical form, and then we have the battery assembly, that is where the battery gets manufactured, and then we have the motor assembly, that is where we put together the motor. So general assembly, when we talk about, there are two components of the general assembly line. One is the pre-line and one is the main line. It spans over 73 meter and had 29 stations. That is where we put the vehicle together, and then once the vehicle is put together, we take it to the dyno. That is where we test for the performance of the scooter before doing all the quality checks and sending it to the consumers. And then we have the battery line. I guess there's some issue with the slides, but where the battery line, we ensure that all the pre-checks are happening, all the quality parameters are met, and we also ensure IP67 compliance and making the battery pack safe and performance oriented to make sure that the performance needs and the safety are met in all kind of road conditions and temperature conditions. Then we have a motor line, that is where we put the motor together, which is also one of the most important components put into the vehicle. The motor is again divided into two lines. One is the rotor assembly, and then we have the motor assembly. Rotor is where we load non-magnetized metals into the rotor, and then we have a patented process to ensure that the motors that we are building are meeting our performance and optimizing on the cost as well. Then we magnetize those rotors through a 2400 volt 5-pair system, and then we put that rotor into the motors. And that is where we have a world-class standard for rotor balancing, ensuring that the vibration performances are good enough to ensure the reliability and longevity of the life of the motor and the scooter. Once the motors are put together, then we put them for IP67 compliance testing and making sure the performance that goes into it is met. And after all of this, when the components are fed to the general assembly line, we make sure that all the components, be it a screw, a motor, a battery, or in fact the cell in the battery pack, can also be traced down to ensure that if there is any field related issue, it can be maintained without any hassle. And with the new and modern technologies bringing in, we have digital twin, we have SCADA, we have PLC, and we have a smart ERP system to ensure that the battery packs or the motors or the complete vehicle meets the demand of the people. So then we talk about service, because after sales service is also one of the most critical parts where people would be asking questions, not just the consumers, but the media as well. So what we've done, we have designed an app where you can book a service by yourself without any hassle. So here you can book your for the service of the vehicle, and it can be picked from your home, and you can also drop the scooter to the nearest service station to ensure that the vehicle that you're riding is properly maintained. So the next thing is when we talk about the average cost of running a vehicle. So we've taken a counterpart, IC counterpart, and if we have considered that monthly you'll be running around 100, maybe 1,000 or maybe 1,050 kilometers per month. So when we talk the cost of running that scooter would come up to 2,257 rupees per month of the fuel. So I would request Suhas to come up so that we can announce the price together, the most awaited questions that everybody would be talking about or thinking about. And sorry for the glitch with the PPT, but I believe the price would answer the major question that everybody has been asking about.
Yeah. Thank you, Shrest, for running them through the presentation. So I think we spoke about manufacturing, we spoke about service, which are two important aspects. So on, just highlighting on the service side, we will move phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 kind of approach, because we want every consumer to have the infrastructure ready before they get the scooter. So I think on the service side, we are also putting up physical service stations. We are also asking consumers to book it online, schedule their calendars, check the ride history, service history. Sorry, look at the what they're built for, what they're not built for. So the entire end-to-end thing will built in their app, so they don't really have to worry about how the service has been in the past or it's going to be in the future. So they can have an end-to-end solution on that. So I think the burning question for a lot of people is simple: at what price does this feature come in, or this scooter comes in, right? So as we are all aware that last 2 years we have been stabilizing supply chain for the entire EV industry, and I think it will take some more time for it to go forward. But still we have managed to have a very strong sourcing team. We have went back to a drawing board last year for doing certain calibrations and certain changes in the scooter for complying with the new norms, etc. And apart from that, I think we've tried to build a scooter which not only matches the parameters defined by currently, but also surpasses them by a huge margin. So I think overall, we look at selling the scooter at a very good price, which consumers can avail from. So going forward, no further delay, we would like to announce the ex-showroom price in Bangalore for Simple One, that is 1.4 lakh ex-showroom with a 750 watt charger. That's 13,000 additional. And for the Brazen X and the Light X, the price is 1.5 ex-showroom in Bangalore. So plus 13,000, of course, for 750 watt charger that comes in with the scooter. So this is cost of Simple One that goes on sale from today. Yeah, moving forward. So we begin our delivery from 6th June, phase 1 in Bangalore, and we finally deliver the scooter after 4.5 years of hard work. So yeah, so phase 1 will be in Bangalore. Post that, within a few months, we'll start expanding to multiple cities. We aim to put in at least 140 to 150 experience stores across India in next 8 to 10 months. So that's our expansion plan. For now, it's phase 1 Bangalore, starting with 6th June as the first lot of delivery goes in. So consumers can now convert their pre-bookings into bookings, and we look forward to getting them with the super EV that we have showcased today. So I would conclude the presentation now, and we call it the beginning and not the end. Thank you so much. Until I see you again. Thank you. Now we can look into the Q&A. Is there any? Srinath?
Yes, Suhas. Hello. Hi, Suhas. Jehan here from Zigwheels.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. Firstly, the battery capacity that you said has gone up. Is it in the fixed? Is it in the removable?
It's in the
Pull up the flicks and I take it on gear. Pull up the hands and the feet on gear. I dig it on. I sick it on. Take it on the roll and the show and pull up the flicks and
Volkswagen Virtus, German engineered for unmatched safety.
Hello and welcome to Disconnect. And today we're going to be talking about saving money.
We're always talking about saving money, aren't we?
Are we? I thought we were getting people to spend money.
By saving some.
While saving some. Nice, yeah. So yeah, this is something that you guys spoke about in the last podcast with us, which is, what about used cars and used bikes? So, Shumi, what's your take on used bikes?
I love them. They're just like new bikes, just slightly older. Well, practically, if you think about it, you've got used cars in your house.
Yeah.
Did you buy your Impulse new?
Yes.
So you have one new bike. You bought your Hayabusa new. You bought your KTM new. So technically, you bought only new motorcycles.
Yes.
But you do have used cars.
Yes.
I bought that KTM new, but today, entire rest of my garage is all used